I saw Pac 20 minutes before he got shot. I saw Pac in Vegas, about to get into the car. He was coming out the hotel. And we walked off, and we got in the cab, and they got in the Bentleys and all that other stuff. And, you know, we went on to another party, and 20 minutes later, we heard Pac got shot.
I was at Warren G's house in the living room. I think we was playing a video game, and we kept getting a whole bunch of calls and pages. Somebody told us to turn on the news, and we turned the news on, and we seen the little shit.
I remember calling a Fanny and saying, "Faye, do I need to get on a plane right now?" She said, "Jada, he's going to be okay. You get here when you can."
I drove down there to the hospital because I wanted to see my nigga, you know what I'm saying, make sure he was straight. I'm thinking that he was going to make it.
It was Pac. He'd been shot before. Fine.
Our first reaction was, again? You know what I mean? And then he was like, oh, he going to be all right, because, you know, this is after he got shot 5 times.
He was like a cat with like 9 lives.
I had went to see him when he was still alive. And I said a little prayer to him in his head and held his hand and whispered at him, you know, said my piece with him. You know, he didn't have no consciousness, but I felt like my spirit and his spirit connected, and I felt like he got it.
When I heard that Tupac died, I was cooking in a restaurant. It was a sports bar, so there was a big TV screen, and we all just kind of watched it, just like, you know, just dazed.
My mother knocks on the hotel door. Will opens the door. Soon as I see her face, I knew he was gone.
I cried like my mother cried when Marvin Gaye died.
A lot of people that worked at the job that I worked at didn't understand Tupac or didn't understand the music, so we're looking at us like, what's wrong? What's the big deal? Get over it. And it's like, nah, this is a really fucked up day. For the longest, I think anybody who had something to do with hip-hop and loved the music there was a sense of mourning for a long time.
We met at Baltimore School of the Arts. It was the first day, and he came over to me and introduced himself. And in high school, Pac was a little funny looking. Definitely, from looking at him, wasn't necessarily like the type of cat that I would even like deal with, you know. But as soon as he approached me, he was like a magnet. It was like once you paid attention to him, he kind of sucked you in. And we hit it off from that moment on. He would tell me all the time, "Jada, you're going to be a star." You know what I mean? I was like, "Pac, come on." He's like, "You're going to be a star. You got it. You just got it." I don't think either one of us really thought that we would have made it in the way that we did. But we knew we were going to do something. He was one of my best friends. He was like a brother. And sorry. He was I mean, it was beyond friendship for us, you know, as far as just, it was really difficult to explain because the type of relationship we had, you only get that once in a lifetime, so he was like a brother, father figure to me. Very protective, and we took really good care of each other. We took really good care of each other, the best that we could. But we gave We gave each other a lot.
What people don't know is that he really kept, you know, me and my wife together too, because there came a point in time where I just felt like I didn't need to be, you know, in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, because it was becoming a headache to me, and all these girls wanted to be with me, and I was like, you know, fuck that. I can have any bitch I want. And, I mean, we was flying back from Belize, and a gang of the homies, you know what I'm saying, from Darfur was like, yeah, man, fuck that bitch. My baby mama ain't shit. They was telling me about how their relationships is, and Pac just was like, man, fuck that. That's your son's mother. You love her. She the only one that gonna love you. Just the shit he was saying was, it was like real, you know. And it was sounding crazy coming from him because he didn't have no relationship like that. But for him to tell me that, the shit really stuck in my heart. When I got home, you know, we pieced it back together, and me and my wife, you know what I'm saying, we worked it out and eventually got married, you know what I'm saying. It was like, I gave him a lot of credit for that because I didn't have no direction. I didn't have nobody to talk to, and I was like young, and I didn't really know. So, you know, his advice stood out more than the negative advice did.
He been everywhere. He lived in New York, Oakland, here, there. He had so many stories. He had so many, you know what I mean? Everybody else was from one hood. We could tell you about how it is in our hood. He could tell you about how it was in different hoods all over. He could tell you about how it was in the Black Panthers. He could tell you, you know what I mean? So anybody who didn't listen to Pac and just shrugged off what he was saying is just, this nigga just out here talking or whatever. It was missing a jewel, was missing something that they could have took with for the rest of their life. And I'm glad that I was. He was so much of an influence, you know, he with me forever. You know what I mean? For life.
He stands out as a warrior. He was always, I guess, fighting for a cause of freedom, you know, I guess to get free on the outside when, you know, in reality, the freedom is inside, and he was just dealing with so much. So, you know, he was just always warring for us and making us understand that he was within the struggle with us.
Tupac is the largest selling rap artist, you know, and I think that's because of his consistency and his work ethic. You know, there's still new albums that haven't been fully, you know, released on his music. There's new music to come like that. It's not even over yet. You know, like when people have sightings of Elvis material is, he's our Elvis.